First off, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is not just our usual member meetup. This is a way for us to really showcase what's going to be happening at annual conference coming up here in Baltimore, April 20th through 22nd. We're so excited about it. And we want to do a little bit of a preview of a couple of our great presentations that are going to be a part of it. And so definitely, again, wanted to welcome everybody and especially welcome Rebecca and Vanessa and Jeff and Thina for jumping on and being a part of this to give us a little bit of a preview of what you'll be talking about. And then afterwards, we can sort of open it up both for questions for them and just talk a little bit more about what's going on with conference and how everything is going from both a planning perspective and cool things to watch out for. So we also have, other people who are also going to be speaking at conference who are even a part of this call too. So some really great stuff all the way around, and we're super excited for it. What I thought I'd do first is call on the team of a toolkit can get communications on the same page about your brand, with Rebecca and Vanessa, and have you just tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about and preview what's going on at conference for you.
Sure, thank you. We're very excited to join the conference. We presented at the annual SHSMD meeting, and that's where Dean and everyone found us. And we're really excited to bring our presentation to your chapter. So I'm Rebecca Lingner. I'm Senior Director of Branding for Mount Sinai Health System in New York. And my colleague Vanessa Gordon is going to be presenting with me. Vanessa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Vanessa Gordon. I'm Director of Content Marketing, and we always say we're the word people. So my team of editors and writers do lots of writing for consumer health, but also kind of hard science type stuff. And we also look at every sign and brochure that comes past us to make sure it's consistent with Mount Sinai's, spelling, but also, tone and style. So I'm ha really happy to be here.
So what our presentation is about is we repositioned ourselves and we realized we needed tools at Mount Sinai to keep our brand voice consistent and to make sure our messaging was consistent. So we developed a messaging toolkit that contains our brand voice and lots of different pieces of that to bring it to life and to get people comfortable with using the toolkit. And so we want to talk about how the steps we followed, that anyone, no matter what your budget, we worked with an agency for most of it, but if you don't have budget for an agency, we have a worksheet that you can work through the steps with your own organization. And that worksheet is a takeaway and walks you through the different steps that we followed. We were also going to share ideas on how to engage employees to get them to use it and encourage each other to use it. And then finally, we're also going to talk about the importance of ensuring that the toolkit evolves with your brand. As we all know, brands are not one and done. Things change internally and also externally. For example, the executive orders from Trump affected how we talk about certain things. So we had to evolve the toolkit from there. And we'll also have a warm-up exercise. We want to keep it fun a little bit. So in our training, we use a specific warm-up exercise that anyone can do. You don't need to have any background information. So we'll have that as part of the training as well. And then Vanessa is going to explain a little specifics about how we think about the brand voice and the messages.
Right. We'll work with that, run it through us. And again, this is our Mount Sinai specific brand voice, not something everyone has to do. Everyone has to identify what their own voice is. But in our case, we'll explain that our voice is being clear. We limit jargon and specialized language. We keep sentences short. Visionary, we want to think about confidence and hope instead of dwelling on suffering. Like Rebecca did a great deep dive to found just, even though this seems kind of self-evident, a lot of other big organizations similar to us don't do this. They have a different sound. And so our sound is hopeful, clear, driven. We talk about action, how we're focusing on growth and continual improvement. And actually a fun thing I can share, it kind of evolved as we started doing this training, which we've done with, I've known Rebecca, how many different We do the
A
training in small
couple of
groups.
hundred people at this
Yeah,
point.
a couple hundred people, like about six at a time. So we've done it a lot. So over time, we've just talked about different ways to drive the message home. And one of the examples I realized is a really good one that's not anything like healthcare, but Mr. Rogers. So at the end of my presentation, I was talking about Mr. Rogers, who had a very, very consistent brand. Everybody knows who he is. No one that would ever call it that, but it was very consistent. And no matter who he was talking to, whether it was small children or Congress, it was always the same demeanor, same message. But he adapted the language to fit the group. And that's exactly the kind of thing we want Mount Sinai people to do. So we actually do you have the video up?
Um, sure.
Let's see. We have a 1 minute video of Mr. Rogers that really does show how he utilized this in a
Let me
really
share my
skillful way.
screen.
Yeah, just be sure to check the share video.
Oh,
Or
thank you.
share audio. Share.
Always forget to do that.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I constantly forget it. So
Okay. Oh, can you see that?
Yeah, we see.
see your desktop.
Yeah, now we see your desktop.
Oh, you
It
see it?
gives me a little
Okay,
bit of
well, hold on.
anxiety with the sheer volume of things on your desktop. But other than that,
Dean, you haven't seen mine and you don't want me to share.
nope,
It's a
nope,
little
no, I don't.
I know. Yeah,
There it is.
here we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Concerned, as I know you are, about what's being delivered to our children in this country. And I've worked in the field of child development for 6 years now, trying to understand the inner needs of children. We deal with such things as the inner drama of childhood. We don't have to bop somebody over the head to make him to make drama on the screen. We deal with such things as getting a haircut, or the feelings about brothers and sisters, and the kind of anger that arises in simple family situations. And we speak to it constructively.
You always make each day such a special day. You know how. By just your being yourself. I'll be back next time. Bye-bye.
So yeah, very short. Of course, that was him speaking to Congress, I think in like 1968, and he actually got $20 million in funding at the end of that presentation. He just charmed them and informed them, and used his training as a minister and a child development expert. So I don't know, we use that as a great example of consistent message, no matter what audience you're speaking to, but altering your vocabulary. So anyway, that's how we kind of ended up. Then we end up talking about lessons learned and ways to go forward. And also, Rebecca came up with a kind of a fun exercise in which people share with us how they've used it after the session is over, and people send us examples of how they used it from day to day, which is a really great way of reinforcing it, which is a big part of this process.
So we're looking forward to being there in person in April. And thank you. And back to you, Dean.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Real quick, when did the toolkit debut?
21 in 21, I think.
Awesome. So it's been alive and evolving and
Yeah,
been
actually,
trained on
let me
it.
take that back. It was 22. We launched the brand positioning in 21, and then it took us
Sure.
some time to do the first draft. But now that we have it, it's been much easier to keep up to date.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think that's going to be so valuable for people to hear, because I think so often, and I say this isn't a knock on speeches people do at conferences, but often it's, hey, there's this thing we just did, but there's not always like we've been at it for a while and can tell you some outcomes, and hey, here's the thing, the barriers we hit, and here's the how we got over them. But to also know how much it's taken, I'm sure, to train everybody up and have it be rolling. That's really cool. It's a great perspective. So yeah, thanks so much. This is gonna be great to have you share that with us. That's awesome. And I mean, who doesn't love Mr. Rogers too, right? Like,
Right.
got that going for us.
Mhm.
All right, next up, let's talk to Jeff and Sina specifically about building a flywheel for greater visibility in AI search and healthcare. Talk about something that's evolving constantly, probably since I started this sentence, already evolving. So, Jeff and Sina, would please tell us a little bit about what you're going to talk about.
Absolutely. I think, Jeff, I'm going to let you start with introducing yourself and give us a little bit about Milestone, and then I'll talk a little bit about what we did.
Yeah, sure. Great. So again, thanks for everybody's time. Excited to meet everyone in April. So Sheena and I have been partnering now for this particular go around for about 3 years, but we've known each other for about 10 in different relationships. And Sheena and I have been working now in really focusing on visibility in the LLMs. And as we all know, AI is truly impacted traditional landscape of SEO, and the websites have essentially become data hubs for the AI engine. So Milestone has created this. Milestone's been around since '97, so we are a well-established company. We provide a geo-led SEO first DXP, so a digital experience platform with a la carte tool options. And Sina will be speaking specifically around the tool that she's leveraging on her solution to help drive that visibility. But this AI visibility flywheel is a concept that Milestone has created with the kind of presence of AI and its impact on driving patient acquisition. So when we look at this flywheel, we see it as a four-step process. And the very first process is to really assess your current visibility and landscape within the LLMs, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or Lambda or Perplexity, and really understanding, specific to the topics or prompts, which they're now called today. Yeah, how visible are you with those prompts that are very, very important to your system? Are you visible in a competitive landscape? So how are you doing versus your competition? Are you visible for specific prompts versus your competition? In addition to that visibility, where is that visibility coming from? Is it coming from the website, or is it coming from the citations? Once you understand from where that visibility is appearing, what is that sentiment? Or are you well received for those specific prompts? So understanding first, what that visibility is versus your competition, understanding that sentiment, and then lastly, getting some guidance on where you're lacking in visibility specific to those prompts and what are you supposed to do about it. So the second kind of phase of this flywheel is to understand those gaps, content wise. So these are the gaps you have for the specific prompts, and in turn, understanding what type of copy you should create, whether it's an article, a blog, core listicles, really understanding specifically, assessing your current visibility, identifying what those gaps are, understanding what copy you should create. Once you create that copy, then we want to really enhance that visibility in the LLMs. And this is where advanced schema markup comes into play. And Milestone has a tool called Milestone Schema Manager, which MedStar Health is leveraging. So I'll ask Sina kind of speak of the work we're doing and the impact and the great success we've had in driving that AI visibility.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. So I am the AVP for Digital Content Strategy and Optimization at MedStar Health. What does that mean? It means that I oversee our consumer website and all things related to it, specifically SEO and now GEO. So probably a couple of my husband won't stop trying to call me. Even if you hit end, he doesn't realize that means no, not now. So I don't know if you guys send your husband's grocery shopping and they call you every other minute. So hopefully he doesn't keep trying. Anyway, we had built maybe a year and a half, 2 years before we engaged with Jeff on this specific endeavor. We had redone our website, right? We had many websites. We're a health system with 10 hospitals, over 600 practice locations, and we had several websites, one for each hospital. We had microsites, all of this stuff, and we went through a huge effort to consolidate and redesign and put great content out there. Now, one of the fears when you do change domains and do this kind of consolidation is, how is it going to affect our SEO? We spent all this time building value on these pages, and now we're moving to these new pages, and how is that all going to happen? So as part of that effort, that's when it was like, you know what? We need our pages to still be found. And so we did launch our site. And then when we came, Jeff and I, like you said, we have a history working together in different projects before. And he came with, hey, we have this product. Would you guys be willing to test it out, right? Be our pilot, play a pilot somewhat. And I was like, yes, we are really looking into, we've got this brand new website. We want everyone to be able to find it. If you can help us do that, that would be wonderful. So schema really, right time, right place kind of came into play. And we did a pilot and checked a few of what we felt were the most important, a flavor of most all of our important pages. We did a small flavor, did a pilot for, I think, 6 months we did it for, Jeff, to see how it was going to work before we kind of jumped in all the way. We kind of tested the waters, and it did great. It succeeded beyond what our initial KPIs were set forth in. So we said, okay, we're going to jump all in. And we did that. It's probably been a year since we've done the all in jump. And it is proving, we have found, and you'll see when we do our talk, when we kind of show the data, that not only did it help with our focus at that time, which was really SEO, we didn't really, the whole ChatGPT explosion and everything came while we were in the process of doing this. And so, but we have found that it's helping there too. Like we haven't had to do a ton of changes. The schema that was built out for us by this tool. We also have I'm sure many of you can relate. We have a small team, right? So we don't have time for, when there's thousands of pages on a website, who's going to do all this tagging and formatting so that the bots out there can find us. And then if Milestone can make that faster for us with this tool and, exponentially speed it up, why not? Let's give it a shot. So that's what Milestone has done with schema, and which we'll show. And we found it really helped in the SEO that we started out for, but now in the time of ChatGPT and AI overviews and all of that, we are showing up there too. And that's the kind of stuff that you'll see when we present. So truly how to build that flywheel in an efficient manner.
That's awesome. And I'm just going to point out what I put in the chat too. Like what I love about both of these talks, but I think it's especially true here, given how quickly things are changing, is just how having your ducks in a row broadly helps you weather new change as it comes, and shows, hey, this is about building on what, on having that plan together. It is amazing. You think about how many terms that we're using now that we literally did not use 18 months ago. It's a little stunning, but yeah.
And I agree with your point, Dean, very much, because people often, physicians, or people come to me and say, how do we trick Google into putting us first?
Sure.
Trick Google. You do the right thing. You you put good content, make it findable. There's no tricking. Google will find you. You just kind of have to, like you said, get those ducks in a row with good content and make it easily findable, and the rest follows.
Yeah, and to add to that, Dean, what's really interesting, when Sina and I started on this particular project, MedStar Health did have schema deployed and marked up on the pages, but Milestone's been managing schema now for way before it even became popular from Google. We're very thought leadership oriented, but there truly is a big difference between basic schema and advanced nested schema, and it really is understanding that properly identifying all the different content types on each respective page, and really going through an entity mapping exercise and mapping the content type to the appropriate schema types, and then marking it up in this nested fashion so that's all connected. So really, really spoon feeding the engines so they understand very quickly. So what's happening today versus traditional is that Google, as we all know, has a lot of money. So when Google's bots crawl the website, they can spend some time on the site to really understand the context of the content and how it all makes sense and whether or not it's the answer to those queries. But the LLM bots have limited crawl budgets. So they can't spend a lot of time on the website to truly understand what the content all means. And if they can't understand quickly, they're going to bounce to another website to try to get that answer. So that's how this advanced nested schema truly really helps that visibility and the ease of which the content is understood quickly. So,
And the bots sound just like patients, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You don't give them what they want quick, they're gonna bounce.
and indeed.
Funny,
So,
funny, funny. Well,
Thank you
that's
for your
awesome. Thank you so
generosity, Jeff.
much.
For you to say we had schema on our site, I think is being extremely generous. So
well, what's really interesting, there's back in October or November, a very small study was published in I think Search Engine Land, and they analyzed three different pages: a page with advanced schema, a page with basic schema, and a page with no schema. And the only page that was visible both in the LLMs as well as in organic search was the page with advanced schema. So there's a huge opportunity for organizations and health systems to really take advantage of what that advanced nested schema can offer.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll just in the larger presentation you'll explain it, but definitely, since I came from kind of journalism more than marketing, I don't know whether schema is a brand or a thing. So,
Yeah, so
even
Vanessa,
Flywell, I'm sure you'll go.
that's a great question. So as part of our presentation, I'm going to go a lot more in depth as to what schema is, and kind of give some analogies and some examples to try to better explain, in simple layman's terms, what schema does and what it is. So but that's I'm going to lay that carrot in front of you for.
There you go.
To
See,
Joe
that you
that.
have to come to find
Now you
out.
have to attend.
Now you
Would
have
you-
to attend. And
Would you like
yeah,
to learn more? Click here. Okay.
that's right. See, wow, look at this. We got a call to action. We got well, speaking of calls to action, I was gonna say first, thank you for all four of you for previewing a bit of what you're doing. And actually, we've got folks that are gonna be on panels and giving talks also that are also here on the call. So we've got some fantastic education lined up for you, by the way. I mean, even just from our, kicking us all off with Chris King, the Dean of Georgetown University Health. It's going to be School of Health is, I think that's going to be just a great table setting, I think, for the whole conference. But those of you who are on the call who have a talk or panel that you're going to be a part of, please feel free to speak up and tell us what it is that you're speaking on, just broadly, whether it's title and a little bit. I could start. I'm going to be on a panel about basically better together, basically using strategic partners. It's going to be a panel of both providers and wildly different partners, both from the research realm and content realms, and just talking about what's it like to use strategic partners and specialists, sort of not necessarily as opposed to generalists, but the idea of managing specialists in forming those kind of partnerships. But other folks too, like putting on the spot. Amy, I know you're talking.
I knew that was coming, Dean.
You had to know that was coming. Come on.
I just want to know what's happened at this conference. It's my first time, but no, I'm thrilled to be closing you guys out. I think I'm the last person, so stick around. Don't book your flights or your travel early, but I'm speaking at 11 about leading with authenticity, vulnerability, and a bit of humor. It's all based off my experiences, most recently leading Emory Healthcare's marketing team through the pandemic. Actually, my career leading that team was bookended by two infectious diseases, started with Ebola, ended with COVID-19. And then I published a book about my leadership style and those experiences called Every Storm Runs Out of Rain. So I'm excited to be speaking with you on that topic. And I might have to steal a little bit of that Mr. Rogers, because what he said at the very end of that clip is exactly it. I talk about your uniqueness as your superpower. So I'm excited to speak with all of you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, anyone else, or if you're excited about a particular session or whatnot, please feel free to drop it in the chat. I am going to drop the link directly to annual conference, and thought I would talk a little bit more about what's going on. We're at a great hotel. We are literally across the street from Oriole Park, where we're going to have a reception. So we've got a bunch of things here, and I just saw that the question for travel starts on Monday. Yeah, so I was gonna say the full schedule you'll see there, right there on that website. I'm trying to think of the very first thing I believe is actually the welcome reception, technically.
It's if you're signed up for the
the tours.
Trauma Center tour, I saw an email about it from that committee yesterday. I think they're coordinating to meet in the lobby at about 2 p.m. I think the email said.
Yeah, so we basically have a couple of the pre-conference activity being if you sign up for the tour of the Shock Trauma Center, but the for everyone else, and then both those on the tour and those who are just arriving, it's really going to be that opening reception. I think that'll be the first big thing, and that will be at Oriole Park. So again, pretty cool to be able to do that, and especially with the proximity that we've got there. Speaking of, I'll keep on entertaining fun things also. We've got the Poe tours, which if you've already signed up, you've been asked if you're interested in that. There is like a separate sign up for that. But the idea is that be grouping with tour guides that can walk you from the hotel down to Fells Point, and we'll give you all kinds of cool Baltimore backstory and history, as well as continue a kind of fun threaded tradition we've got through several of our conferences of something about Edgar Allan Poe. Now we've become this like pseudo Poe affiliated association, but Poe having died in Baltimore, and as we may remember, those of you who were in Richmond, we had our opening reception at the Poe Museum. So we've got a little bit of Poe. We will go by his grave en route to Fells Point with that walking tour, and so we'll be also sending out to registrants a things to do, things to remember document that you'll get that has a great, both from a map perspective for running or walking. It'll have, some reminders of fun stuff to do, some thoughts about things to pack, weather links, things like that to get you ready for conference. And that'll be going out here shortly too. And also the opening reception page link. I don't know if there's a direct link to the opening reception. Colleen, I'll let
I'm
Colleen.
also digging and trying to find it. Is it at 5 or 5:30? I can't even find that at the moment.
I believe it's 5:30 to 6:30.
I thought it was 5:30. I think it's 5:30 to
Yes.
6:30. I know it's part of the registration process. It
Yeah,
said the
and
time.
I should have pulled up the actual but anyway, it'll also be on that the like things to do thing that goes out too as like a prep for everybody. I'd also love to really highlight our sponsors who have already oh, yeah, there you go. 5:30, 6:30. Yep. I'd like to highlight our sponsors. I'm going to lean on Colleen for putting up a fantastic picture of all of our sponsors who are already come in. And I want to also make a bit of a pitch for those of you on this call who might be interested in sponsoring. We still have slots. There's still some really cool ways that you can help support. So please consider that. There is a sponsorship prospectus on that annual conference page that you can click through to. But we've got some fantastic sponsors already lined up. And again, still have room for more, but really want to thank the folks that that leapt in, including some brand new sponsors too. So it really just goes to show how this group is growing, both in terms of the geographies that we cover, and I would say even like the types of sponsors we are getting, the variety is really growing too. So very cool. Yeah. And yeah, seriously, everybody who's both on this list and coming in is really pretty awesome. We're really lucky with with how great our sponsorships have been, and a huge thank you to Lauren Miners, who has been quarterbacking, pulling in sponsors, and just again, if you're interested at all, feel free to reach out. We still have some slots to get you in.
Thank
Yeah,
you
and it's
all. I
awesome
know
to have
several of
locals.
you are on here too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's great to have like having locals be a part of this too, right? Like that's even better, right? Because you can
So
also help
excited.
tell us where we
Still
ought to be
staying
going.
over though. Like I'm closer to DC.
You're not going to want to drive in. You're going to want to be there for
No.
the full fun part
That
of it.
reception alone, I
Yep.
I wanna take advantage of it. I don't want to sit in traffic. So, but it's great to be close by. I'm very excited to meet everyone.
100%. And just to say it, that's something that the board and the organization really takes seriously, which is let's have it in a fun place, but also a place that helps us dot around this geography that we represent. So it really helps us highlight folks from speakers to sponsors, and really give a chance to be a part. And that's what's also kind of cool is we bring in even all new people sometimes, depending upon where we are, which is awesome. Speaking of membership, which is something that can be, tied with your registration, we do have a member survey that we'd love for you to take. I'm dropping it in the chat. It will help us make us even better as we continue to grow and continue to try and provide great stuff for you. But yeah, so just to throw that in there and give a plug for that survey. I want to open it up also to questions. Like people have questions about what's going on, links to anything that we can give, but also knowing that there is an awful lot of info there. Everybody registered who's on the call. If you haven't, get on it.
Matt, I don't think you are yet.
Matt, let's publicly shame anyone.
He raised his hand. He made a face. He called
hopefully
himself out.
Today or maybe Monday at the worst. We're close. We're so close.
We don't have to shame everybody, but we want to shame Matt. So that's a difference.
It's Matt. It's fine.
Trying to do that. Also, just to say it, I mean, that rate on that hotel, let me tell you, as somebody who pops up to see games sometimes, that rate is insane. So please take advantage of it. I think there's some, that's pretty crazy. I'm literally going to be in Baltimore at a nearby hotel like the week prior to see some baseball games, and that is not the same rate that I'm getting for a much worse hotel. So yeah, it's take advantage of it since we've got it. But anything else? Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Colleen, anything I'm missing?
I think so. I'm just curious, who has attended a MASHSMD conference before?
Oh, here we go. That's good.
There we go.
Yeah.
Who's never attended one? Who's refusing to admit either way? No. This is so exciting. There are so many new ones. And one of the things I love about MASHSMD is the networking part. The annual conference is just so fun to meet so many different people. And I'm going to say exchange war stories, but it's not all bad. But we like to commiserate and both celebrate. It's a good balance of both when we get this crowd in a room together. So
yeah, and I will
really
say
fun.
too, the variety of geographies I think also really helps for some very interesting story sharing, right? Because it's not just as referenced right in here, potential competitors or whatever. I mean, we cover such a wide number of states that you end up hearing some stories and hearing things and hearing best practices. Honestly, even from the folks that, like Mount Sinai and whatnot, even on this call where you wouldn't normally hear that except for maybe on a national conference. So to bring that into a regional one where you get even more time to actually interact and talk is pretty cool. And so I think that's one of the special things. Also, speaking of special things, for those of you who were in Delaware last year with us, just so you know, we do have orange crushes on the menu in terms of if you're looking for, a drinking game every time someone says schema, that maybe it's not a great thing. I guess it depends
That's
on
a bad idea.
your tolerance level. But at any rate,
We'll
yeah.
we'll have to rethink our presentation, Jeff, and add some more schemas.
Add some more schemas. That's right.
What time of day is your session?
What time is your presentation? That might also play into it.
I think it might be mimosas that we do.
There we go.
Yeah. That's
An
right.
orange crush
the Bloody
mimosa.
Mary schema tie-in. It will be strong.
So
Well,
speaking
cool.
of that, I'm curious, is there anything going on Tuesday night? You talked about the reception on Monday, but is there any networking that reception?
Yeah, so Tuesday night, it's interesting. It's a little bit of both. There's some planned and some open-ended elements. So for example, we've got once the conference part sort of winds down, we've got that tour that can get you to Fells Point, where you'll be a bit on your own. And there's, I'm sure the things that sponsors will do. You can grab great dinners. We're going to have some restaurant recommendations, but also go nuts on your own in terms of Fells Point has no end of options for you there. But then we're also going to do a bit of make sure I'm phrasing this right, sort of a nightcap opportunity also too that we'll be putting out for folks too. And that details of that are coming up where everybody can get back together on a little more official basis to chat. But be dinner on your own, but we're going to have guided you to a really cool area for that. And then we can kind of bring everybody back together as a part of that after dinner too. Yeah. Oh no, that's sorry. I was reading the in the chat too. Yeah, no, that's great with questions. And just to say it too, also on our speaking of other kind of extracurriculars, on the things to do that you'll get are for runners. We always have a group that will often get together in the morning and go. And you could also use that map to just walk and not run. I tend to only run if I'm being chased, so that's how I will utilize that information. But there is a group that gets up each morning and runs too, so there's a bit of extracurricular there too.
That crazy crew that goes running. No.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, great. Well, I do not want to belabor everybody's time. Thank you so much for getting together to just talk about this upcoming conference. Again, we will be getting the things to do bit to everybody who's registered. If you're not registered or you have folks on your teams that are not registered, go ahead and get that taken care of, Matt. And if you're interested also in sponsoring, again, we still have some slots open. But otherwise, we really hope that you pack well, get ready for a really fun time, and we're excited to see you in Baltimore. So thanks everybody for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
You.